Hi, welcome to Talk About. My name is John Twigg. Thanks for tuning in. We've got a special show today. Music, yes, music on Talk About. Our guests are Rich Hagensen and Joanne Banks. Thanks very much for coming in. Now, people watching will probably recognize you because you guys have been pretty active in town for quite a while. And Rich, you were born here, I think.
I was born here many years ago and
Many
grew up
decades
here.
ago.
And grew up here and left in the 70s to pursue a social work career.
Yep.
Came back in 2002 after taking early retirement.
And Joanne, that's when you came back.
That's the first time I came and lived here, in
Yeah.
2002.
Yeah, but you guys have been together for 25 years, I think.
Yep,
Yeah. Singing all the time?
when we're not arguing.
Oh, you're still together, can't be that bad. Now, did you have a band called Skunk Hollow? Was that?
That was my band
Yeah.
in Campbell River, up to from about 2004 to a couple of years ago, and we played at various parties in Quinsam Hotel and different places around the island, and
Yeah.
did some rockabilly and country swing kind of stuff.
And then the Surf Dusters, where does that fit in?
Well, that was in Vancouver from the late 80s until 2002.
Okay.
Joanne was in the band also playing keyboards. I was playing rhythm guitar, and we put out 3 CDs and some singles, and had some pretty good success. Got some of our music on SpongeBob SquarePants cartoon and on NCIS Los Angeles too.
Yeah.
So.
The CDs are available at the music plant here in town. And the SpongeBob, I'm glad you mentioned that quickly because you're getting royalties from that. I know from talking to you before.
Yeah, we're both getting pretty good royalties from
Yeah.
They just use little snippets of instrumentals behind some of the early first couple seasons of episodes, and it's kind of guitar twangy music behind SpongeBob getting chased around underwater, and
So would it be fair to say that financially you're the most successful artists in Campbell River history?
I wouldn't
No.
say that necessarily.
Well, who has done more in terms of, like living off of music?
Well, we've done pretty well at it.
We had day jobs,
Yes, yes.
definitely.
Yeah, well, we also have some music coming in, and a couple upcoming films also. One is called The Pristine Coast, and it's about an environmental film. We have some original music in there, and another one is it's a biography of a BC author named Britt Haggerty. It's going to be out in a couple of years, and so we have some songs in there.
Yeah. Now, you're both politically active, and not necessarily in a partisan way, but in an issues way. Where does that come from? Is it just natural, or?
Well, I'll speak for myself. I grew up in a union home, basically, so I learned a lot of stuff from my parents. It's sort of like in the song "Rebels Till We Die," and we I was a social worker for many years, and so got into social action. I was a shop steward, and really doing a lot of this for ourselves, but also for our neighbors and for our future generations too, to make sure that the world's a better place and the environment's is cleaned up.
Yeah, Joanne, how about you? What politicized you?
I think coming from a working class family, and then at one point being a single mom, and then going into a teaching career and seeing the variety of issues that come up that really need to be addressed.
Yeah. Now, most recently, you've been very active in the health issue, and there was a demonstration at John Duncan's office March 31, I think, and he had a pretty good turnout for that. But how did the health issue come to the fore?
Well, actually, 2012, we had a kind of a rally at Spirit Square regarding this issue, and then also last fall there was a national campaign, and we were part of that also, in combination with Council Canadians and the Health Coalition, and we were very concerned that the healthcare code, which was actually up on March 31st, is not being renewed by the federal government, and we feel it's a pretty important agreement between the federal government and the provinces regarding keeping healthcare public and also making it equitable, the money that comes from the federal government to the provinces equitable, and we also like to see it expanded. So.
Yeah. And Citizens for Quality Healthcare jumps to mind. That's one of the groups that you're involved in too, I think?
Yes, that's correct. That
Yeah.
was in regards originally to making sure that we had our own hospital here, and as you probably aware, we did get a 19,000 signature petition. In the end, we're getting our own hospital in Campbell River and in Courtenay, and unfortunately it's going to be a public-private partnership, and we see that as a step toward privatization and non-accountability in healthcare too. But so Citizens for Quality Healthcare is still going, but kind of taking a back step at this point because we have our hospitals, but we're still mounting opposition to the P3 and privatization aspects of that. So.
Yeah. The issue is so important you wrote a song about it.
I did.
Yeah.
Did you both write it?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he did the lyrics and
Oh, we did both.
and the
We
music?
bounced ideas off
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
We write a lot of stuff together, but that, especially the political songs, and it's called Get on Board the Healthcare Accord, and it's basically asking our elected leaders to take some leadership here and get back to the table so that we have enough money in the healthcare system in the future. So.
I think
Well-
a lot of people just aren't aware that we even have a healthcare accord, and I don't think people realize that the ideas that are set forward in the healthcare accord make sure that there's a universal healthcare across Canada, so that if I broke my arm here or in Charlottetown, I would get the same service.
Yeah.
The healthcare accord expired March the 31st, and so the provinces are being given money and they can spend it on whatever they want. There aren't the kind of rules attached to it that were in the past.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to, really trying to get a new healthcare accord so that there's universal healthcare across
Okay.
Canada.
Well, through the miracle of modern television, we have a song about that. Just before we started talking, Rich and Joanne performed what's the title of it?
Well, it's Get on Board the New Healthcare Accord.
Okay, well, let's listen to that.
Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Right now, Medicare has got you covered, but you better beware of what we've discovered. The feds have gone and walked away, but we need them to stay and pay. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. What needs to happen in 2014 now? Not-for-profit healthcare, free access by the poor, universal pharmacare, long-term care, dental, vision, mental health should all be there. 6% yearly in transfer payments, they fund to care all of your ailments. Feds keep giving to the provinces. Expand the accord, don't be Grinches. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Tell John Duncan, Christy Clark, and others of her kind, get Harper to the table, and then we all will find protected public Medicare and the new health accord. Come on now, people, let's get on board. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Medicare has got us covered. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Get on board the new healthcare accord. Get on board the new healthcare accord.
Okay, if you just tuned in, that was Rich Hagensen and Joanne Banks here on Talk About On Chaw performing
Get on board the new
Healthcare
healthcare accord.
I think it's pretty good, and thank you for doing that. Now, health, though, is by no means the only issue you're active in. I know you're both very interested in the environment. Tell us a bit about what's involved there and why. Joanne, you first.
Well, the most recent thing that I was involved with another couple of people from the Council of Canadians is trying to get this city council to become a blue community. And there's several blue communities in BC right now. Burnaby was the first one, Nanaimo, Victoria, Cumberland, and Comox are blue communities. And what a blue community is one that agrees that you recognize water as a human right. You promote publicly financed, owned, and operated water and wastewater systems. And you ban the sale of bottled water in public facilities and at city events. So we presented that to the council, but they decided not to act on it at this time. So we did that about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, personally, we could probably debate for about an hour on this.
We could, yeah.
Because I'm in favor of bulk water exports in places where it doesn't interfere with the environment, where there's surpluses. Just happen to be Campbell River is one of those. Not year-round, but sometimes we have surpluses. But also the bottled water. Why do we need bottled water when we've got the best water in North America?
We do, and we were judged 4th in the world.
Yeah.
And I think there's been such a tremendous campaign by the bottled water industry because they're making a fortune. Municipal water systems are the biggest competition to bottled water providers. And when you consider that it takes 3 liters of water to make 1 liter of 1 liter of water, and 1 liter of water costs about $1.70, and that is the equal of 4,000 liters of municipal water.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, they're not even, the big companies are drawing water from municipal aquifers and not even paying a cent.
That's
So,
Nestle's in Hope right now.
Oh, and that's, to me, that's just, it shouldn't be happening at all.
Well, some of the bottled water is actually just tap water. Anyway.
Absolutely. I'm not sure of our time here, but there's a bottling water plant in Fanny Bay, just down the island, and they got an order for the Chinese Olympics. And it wasn't to be the main water supplier, but the Chinese, when they're hosting the games, anticipated so many people coming that they had an official supplier. And then they got a backup supply from Fanny Bay. And they were going 24/7 filling bottles for the Chinese market. And then there was the big earthquake in China. And they had to divert all of that water suddenly to the earthquake zone. So they doubled the order for Fanny Bay water. And the ban on bulk water exports is such that I think it's 50 liters. You're not allowed to export anything in a container larger than 50 liters. Mm-hmm. So I think I could debate that, but we won't divert into that too much. But there is a world demand for water. And in fact, you guys probably know more than most about how bad the water supply is in the world. So what's wrong with exporting water to needy areas?
I think more it's turning water into a commodity and someone making a huge profit off it. I think in situations, emergency situations where water is needed, of course that makes sense. But, where someone is just making a huge profit off the water, and they're the ones that are benefiting and no one else. I think that's what I have the biggest issue with.
Yeah.
A lot of the private companies right now are in Africa and South Africa, other places. I mean, they're charging, they have meters on the water, and the poorest of the poorest people have to somehow cough up money to get clean water, and that's not right.
I sympathize with that.
Yeah.
I agree that that's not right. And one of the things that I favor BC getting into the water export industry for is in a way to break the French cartel. There's a couple of French companies that really dominate the world water industry, and it's becoming a monopoly. Hard to believe that water could be monopolized.
Mm-hmm. Well, I still
it's a commons,
agree to disagree with you on some of the aspects of that, because I think we still have had low snowfall. A lot of our water comes, as you know, from snow melts and that. And then we've had drought conditions, and not so much in BC, but in Alberta. So things can
In
change
Southern
pretty
California
fast.
right
And
now.
if you're locked into a contract for a
Yeah.
large bottled water export, then you can't take care of your domestic needs first. And that's the way those
Yeah.
trade agreements are set up. So.
Well, yes, NAFTA. And I'm not talking, by the way, about diverting rivers to go into the United States. I agree. That would be foolish. And I was in Saskatchewan where they have the cross-border water treaty. But BC has water falling off the coast into the ocean. And, it's in surplus in some areas. So I think we should look at that.
But
let me finish.
okay.
If we get locked into a contract, I agree that could be a drawback. But there's ways around that. And one way would be to have an auction and a central sales agent like they do in the potash industry for Saskatchewan.
But one of the things we're not addressing here is industrial use of water and why there's a shortage of water in the first place in a
Yes.
lot of places, right? And I think that we have to start being aware of the climate and what's going on with the climate and what we can do and what we can't do. And I think there hasn't been a lot of study in place about long-term use of anything, that in terms of water, you really have to be careful what you're doing with it, because if you take it from one area, move it to another, then a lot of times, they're not looking at the long term. For example, these LNG project, or the liquid frac gas, as I like to call them, they're using in tremendous amounts of water, inserting water down into the water tables, contaminating water that, for our future use. So, at this point in time, we don't know what we're going to be dealing with in the future. And so I think we have to really be, thinking about those kind of things.
I agree with you that stewardship is obviously got to be done. But I disagree in the sense that I think it can be done and we have to take care. But I'm going to take this opportunity to promote an event that's coming in Courtney Comark's. Is May 23, 24.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, Damien Gillis, who's a Campbell River filmmaker, is having a film on Friday night there. This is at the Philberg Center. This is all free. The whole weekend's free.
Free
it's called
lunch?
Fractured Land.
There is a free lunch.
Yeah. And Saturday is Maud Barlow and
Andrew Nikifork,
and a number of other speakers.
Jessica Ernst, Ingemar Lee.
And this is in the morning. And then there's going to be buses taking up to the Solom and another river's watershed.
The Nile.
To look at the preservation projects up there, and then a debriefing later back to Philberg Center. So it looks like a worthwhile event.
And Friday evening is Damien Gillis of Common Sense Canadian. That's a website. And he's, is he unveiling? Is the first time his new film, Fractured Land?
That's correct. I think it's the debut.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. And that, just in case you didn't get it, May 23, 24, Florence Philberg Center in Courtney. And is there a website for that?
Probably Island Water Watch, I believe.
Okay.
But people can get a hold of us too. We can leave our Council of Canadians website.
I'm going to put a little plug in for another film series that actually Council of Canadians, Campbell River Occupy, and the Earth Club at Timberline. I have been sponsoring a series of films. Our next one is Gasland 2, and that's going to be May 12th at the North Island College Theatre at 7:15. And then after that's Occupy Love, and we have another series for the fall. So again, free of charge. So.
You guys are just balls of energy doing all this organizing. It's great.
It's not only us. There's lots of other groups in the community.
Other people too.
Yeah, I went to the one at Timberline, but there was a glitch in the screen or something.
Yeah.
You got that fixed?
Well, they had a play, and they couldn't move the props for the play, so we had to use a smaller screen. But last time they got it fixed, actually were able to Skype the filmmaker, and that's what we're going to try and do from now on too, is have a Skype, so question and answer at the end, Yeah,
it's good stuff. The Council of Canadians, what are you doing there? I mean, I know they're active in water, but I don't think that's the first issue that drew you to them, or was it?
Well,
There's a lot. There's health is one of them. Energy is another one. Climate justice is one of them.
Yeah.
And basically the trade agreements too. We're trying
that's a big
to. We had a national somebody from the national office in Council of Canadians come to town last fall and had a good, well-attended session on the trade agreements like FIPA and CETA and why they're not good for the average Canadians. And so we're involved with that. And
matter of fact, the healthcare accord, we're thinking that one of the reasons why the federal government hasn't come to the table with regards to creating a new healthcare accord is so that they can open up healthcare to privatization with these new trade agreements, like allowing the pharmaceuticals in, for example, from Europe.
Yeah. Well, time flies. Are there any other issues you want to mention that we haven't touched on?
Just in regards to the health accord, there is a major campaign kicking in September, and that's all the way across Canada. And that's going to be, again, focused on the health accord. And so just stay tuned for an event in Campbell River and town halls, et cetera. You know.
Yeah. And I have a website, www.crnv.com. I'm still creating it. It's not perfect yet. But I'm going to put up some links to this stuff too. So if you want some further information on that, check out crnv.com. And before we go, we've got one more song. This is Rebels, and it's one of my favorites. Can you give us a brief background on that?
Joanne and I wrote that song. I don't know if you want to pass the CD over here.
Which one?
It's the blue one.
The blue one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold it up here.
Yeah, that one, it's on that CD, and these are for sale at the Music Plant. A little plug here, but I have...
it's a fair plug.
This particular CD, though, is more social justice and acoustic. It's a whole band thing, but there's a lot of acoustic type song, environmental songs on it, and stuff about the coast and about Campbell River, and so it's called Shaking Up This Town.
Rich Hagensen and the crew, shaking up the town. Well, thank you both for coming in, and thank you, volunteers. Thank you, Chaz and Marjorie, especially, for this is an unconventional show, and I really appreciate them doing it. I appreciate Shaw putting it on too. So we're going to go out with Rebels here on Shaw TV North Island. We're on YouTube too.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Living on the edge, walking straight wasn't our way, trying to free up a mind, searching every day. Daddy said help out the underdog, try your best to understand. Mama said do unto others, don't turn your back on your fellow man. Still hear those words inside our heads as our lives go flying by. Speak out, take action for peace and brotherhood, be rebels till we die. The 60s were a time of change for us and everyone. We sang and marched together to change the way the world was run. Join the rebel kind in opposition to injustice, war, and poverty. You better get back in line. That's what they told you and me. But we hear those words inside our heads as our lives go flying by. Speak out, take action for peace and brotherhood, be rebels till we die. Still hear those words inside our heads as our lives go flying by. Speak out, take action for peace and brotherhood, be rebels rebels till we die.